My name is Phil Burke. I was born and raised in Edmonton, Alberta. I'm of Métis descent. I'm part Cree, part French, part Apache, and part Scott. I've been in and out of prison all my life, and I've been addicted for some 30 years. Yeah, I've been out of prison for over 5 years, and that has changed my life. I'm working on my addictions. I sobered up some 2 years ago. However, I haven't been sober for those 2 years. Those entire 2 years, I've relapsed, and I went back to my old way of life. However, I'm aware, and I do come back, and I do snap out of it.
Hello, my name is Chris McDowell. I just want to share my experience with Aboriginal culture and how it's affected my friends and how it's affected me.
Hi, my name is Fran Sugar. I'm from Pipe Up First Nation, Saskatchewan. I have dual citizenship with the United States, and I belong to Wuptika Teoshpaye. I've been homeless in the last 3 months.
My name is Sidney Gill. I work at the Aboriginal Friendship Center as an outreach worker and as a case manager. I'm from Manitoba, Sapatuak Cree Nation. I was born and raised in northern Manitoba. I've been living here in Calgary now for about 10 years, and I've been involved in, with the Friendship Center for the last 2 years. My main focus there is with culture and trying to bring culture to the people, because I believe that that's the biggest asset that we have as Aboriginal people to help each other out of what we've been, put into over the last, whatever you want to call it, 500 years to now.
The story that brought me onto the streets is that as a youth, as a young person, I was always experimenting with drugs and alcohol. I was always looking for the next big high, I guess. And there was a traumatic event in my life where I felt that that's all that I had. For whatever reasons, I can't explain these things. I turned to drug use, and I was an intravenous drug user for some period of years, and I was, committing crime, daily, multiple times, and some of those were violent crimes, and I was, in and out of prison.
I became homeless just due to addictions, and it was due to addiction through Oxycontin and also through alcohol and cocaine use, and pretty much just lack of working and just too much on my addictions, focusing too much on my addictions and not enough just working.
I'm a cancer survivor, and I became homeless as a result of my rent being increased to, I'm a single parent, and I have 2 sons. Our rent was formerly $1,200 for a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was raised to $1,500. And I couldn't afford that on disability and family allowance. So that was how I became homeless. I've been homeless for 3 months.
The importance of my cultural awareness, I'll call it, was, there was something there that I didn't know. I wasn't raised, or I wasn't interested in learning about my culture. These things were like an alien, thing for me that didn't interest me, and I didn't care about it. And it took me so many years, in my life, to the way I lived, to realize that there's something else, and I knew there was something that was missing, and it was the sweats, and it was the praying. And once I could pray, I found I could do anything.
Some of the things that I've learned through culture and stuff like that is I went to the sweats with a friend of mine, and at first I was kind of skeptical about going to them, and he just told me it was more of a spiritual uplifting, and I was like, yeah, right kind of deal. And I'm a finished person, and it kind of really somewhat like a sauna, and I just found it was more of a cleanse your soul kind of, you know what I mean? And also did in treatment when I was in treatment in Alberta here. And
I belong to ASCHH. It's a extended family of prayer, and my sources of hope and my strength, my inner strength, come from having access to a sweat lodge and having access to a smudge room, you know, having access to elders that are out there and available, that are willing to speak to me with respect to, you know, just unloading and debriefing. And through the process of becoming urbanized, like I'm a First Nations woman, I've raised my family on a First Nation in the United States. And so we experience culture shock from having, you know, an open land and having that freedom and being a sustainable community on the First Nation, and then moving into a city and not having that, so we're debased, right? My opinion is that we're moving through the colonization process, and with respect to the residential school, the Royal Commission on Residential Schools, and being able to address that and talking about that, right? It's a process. It's a process of becoming decolonized. And we're sovereign peoples. And the way that we can achieve our sovereignty is finding positive self-identity and having a sustainable community, sustainable housing, right, in the cities. You know, a lot of Aboriginal women and children are not accepted on our First Nations because of the shortage of housing there as well. So we're still nomadic, you know, we're still looking for a place where we belong.